welcome to Tapping with Buddy. So, this is the first video. I know you're really excited to learn how to tap dance, or if you've been taking classes for a while now, to really get down to the fundamentals and know exactly what your leg is supposed to be doing in each of these situations. So we're going to go very, very basic, extremely slow, explaining exactly what your leg needs to do. That way when you're practicing at home, you're doing it the right way and you're not building bad habits, so when you come to class, your legs aren't flying all over the place. Alright, let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, so we've got our shoes on, we've got a nice safe area to practice in. Even if you don't have your tap shoes or you can't practice with tap shoes in your house or wherever you're at, barefoot or within socks on the carpet, it's all good because you can work on the motion of the leg, and that's what's most important when you're first starting out. So let's go to the very, very, very first thing you got to know about tap dancing, and that is, how do you lift your leg up? Nobody ever talks about this, and it's very important because if you just start doing things willy-nilly and you build those bad habits, then you'll be stuck trying to learn, relearn, and all that stuff later on. So when you lift, you want to imagine right above your kneecap, there's like a hook or something with a string on it. Okay, and if you're standing in your neutral stance, your feet are about shoulder width apart, right under your shoulders, and you lift this up, your knee is going to go forward, and your foot is going to be nice and relaxed, right? And you want to lift with a completely relaxed ankle. So when you're lifting your leg, your heel comes up first, and then your toe, and your toe's still on the ground, and then finally the toe comes off, alright? So as you're doing that, notice how this whole leg feels right now. If you were to shake your leg back and forth, your toes would just wobble loosely underneath your leg. Just like if you were to do it with your arm and your hand were to go like this. That's exactly what your feet are doing. So just practice lifting up both the right side and the left side, nice and relaxed. And take note of that feeling, because you want to access that feeling throughout the entirety of your tap dancing. There are times where you break away from, the relaxed ankle idea, but for 95% of it, that's what you want to do. So make sure that every time you lift, you're like this. A lot of people, they'll put their toe up before they lift, and now you have this. A lot of tension going on right here, which is going to hinder you from being able to get some of those steps that you want to get. Alright, so we know how to lift our leg up now. You can practice that as much as you want. I still practice it just to make sure I remember. And let's get into the first couple of steps, alright? So we're just going to do in this video one sound steps, and we're going to note the difference between the different ones. So you have a stamp, you have a stomp, and you have a step. Alright? 3 things, they sound pretty close, they're only a few letters apart, but there is a big difference, and it's important to know the vocabulary of the tap steps. That way, when you're in class and the teacher says stomp, hop, step, or stamp, hop, shuffle, whatever that you're going to be doing, you need to know exactly what it is right away. So the first one we'll just say stamp. Alright, so you lift that leg up nice and relaxed, and you drop it on the ground, and you keep it on the ground. Both the toe and the heel hit exactly the same time. Alright, so it's just one thing right down there. Boom, right into the ground. Now it's called a stamp. You can think of it like you have a stamp on an envelope and you put it down and you want it to stay on the envelope, whoosh, so you keep your leg on the ground. Now next is the stomp, and the only difference is you lift the foot up afterwards. Think of that like there's a bug crawling across the floor, you stomp it and you lift it up to see if you got him. Alright, so that's the big difference between a stamp in the ground and a stomp lifting it up. And then the last one is your step. So a step, just think like you're going up the stairs, you're stepping, you're walking, you're actually transferring your weight onto this foot. And that's very important because weight transfers are key to tap dancing. If you don't have your weight in the right place, then you'll be all over the world. Alright, so when you step, you can step with just the ball of the foot, you can step with the whole foot. That'll be, dictated by whatever you're doing. But you actually put your weight on it so that you can lift up the next foot. And remember, even if you step on here, when you lift it up, you still have that nice relaxed lift on the back leg. You don't want to step and then lift like this, because now you have this tension in there and you're limited. So a step, a stamp, and a stomp. Very important to note those differences. I know this is super basic beginning tap, but that's why you're here, right? To learn the very fundamentals, practice from the beginning nice and slow at home, so when you come to class you're confident, you have these basic steps down, and we can apply them to more intricate rhythms and have fun actually dancing to music.